Yo, hello, welcome to the Alterverse. We're going to be talking today about a theory that the Conservative Party is historically racist, particularly given what David Cameron has recently said about British Muslim women. What did he say again?
Well, he commented on the fact that there's many of them who can't speak the English language and that they would need to learn the English language to be allowed to stay in the country. And he also said that there's a chance there may be extremists. There's a potential that extremism can spread if they don't integrate into society and learn the English language.
What? So if you don't learn English, if you don't know English, you speak a foreign language, then you're potentially a terrorist.
He said there's no causal link. He said there's no causal link between language skills and extremism, yet there's a chance that they may be radicalized if they don't learn the English language.
What? So there's no causal link, but there is a causal link.
Basically contradicting himself in the same sentence, yeah.
That's nothing new for Cameron, is it?
It isn't, no. He has been spouting this whole thing about integration. He's been talking about British values and everybody needs to conform to these British values. And he has said in the past that British values include our multiculturalism.
Yeah.
Well, he's not used the word term multiculturalism, but cultural diversity.
And he's spoken about tolerance
of different cultures, etc.
I've agreed with that when he said it.
He did, yes, and the problem though is he has historically said, and as early as 2008, that multiculturalism has failed. And so what we need now is something called a muscular liberalism, which I haven't exactly got.
That's a bit aggressive.
It's a little bit, yeah.
I don't even know what that means, in fact.
I don't think he knows what it means himself, to be honest.
He probably had a pig head in between his leg when he said it. But anyway, what else
moving on. I mean, if you look at the history of the Conservative Party, back in 1968, you had a guy called Enoch Powell, who he's got a famous speech called the Rivers of Blood speech. In that, he said, if in the next 10 or 20 years we are not careful and we do not start implementing a policy where we start to get rid of all the immigrants, stop the inflow and encourage the outflow of immigrants, if we don't start doing that now, in 10 or 20 years time, the black man will have the whip hand over the white man. As in, they can potentially rule over us.
They're going to take over.
Typical
scare tactics.
Exactly.
And what we spoke about this before, haven't we? What happens when politicians want to divert attention from stuff that matters? They divert the attention to minorities.
Exactly.
And make the majority scared of them.
Yeah.
And who's doing that these days? There's a bunch of nutters called idiotic.
There is, yeah.
I want Britain to be back British. You've got interracial law and the Muslimic infidel. They're trying to get their law over our country. They've got their law. Obviously it's their law, innit? Like, there's no one, we can't do anything about that, but we're just trying to stop Muslimic. You've got Muslimic rape gangs.
Listen, I'll tell you what, right? We have no problem with mosques being built over here, so long as we can build mosques in Mecca. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I would love to see a mosque being built in Mecca.
You keep doing it.
Britain first.
Yeah, Britain first. So, are we saying that it started with the Conservative Party?
It actually, historically in this country, that type of tactic started with the Conservative Party.
Interesting.
And it continues to this day, but the only problem is because we live in a time which is more, politically correct, you can't actually say anything overtly racist. The racism is more covert in its nature. And if you really look at the prevent strategy, we've got 10-year-old Muslim kids who got terrible spelling being arrested and questioned by the police for their spelling mistakes.
Because he said he lives in a terrorist house.
A terrorist instead of terrorist, yes. So I mean, this type of thing is famous. He wants to teach, Asian women the English language. It's kind of got that colonialist kind of vibe to it. The white man going to liberate the brown woman.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see anything wrong with, you know, Asian women learning the English language.
It's only a good thing, right?
Yeah, but his thing about linking it with extremism, it's that old tactic of no matter what you want to pass, no matter what you want to say, link it with like the most extreme thing you can think of. So in the Bush years, they were linking everything with patriotism. If you don't support what they say, you are unpatriotic. And in today's day and age, in Britain, they are saying, if you don't support what we are doing, you are an extremist.
What about, like, I was lost in London once, right?
Okay.
And it wasn't a tourist area.
Alright.
And there were some couples walking around, and I walked up to one of them, and I said, I don't know what it was. I think I asked, "Where's the tube station?"
Right.
And they looked at me like, "Where's the tube station?" No speak English.
Right.
The colour of the skin was white though.
So some type of European or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are they potential terrorists? If he's going to apply this equally,
Yeah.
but then he did say Muslim women.
Yeah, exactly. So it's only Muslims that can be terrorists.
Yeah,
isn't
exactly.
it? According
Exactly.
to
So if they're not speaking English, they're Muslim, then potentially they're terrorists, man. Oh, this guy's onto something. पता नहीं की कहने आए हैं पागल ही आए
terrorist.